Will healthcare expenses destroy my retirement? I bet that's on your mind. I know it's on many, many people's minds for sure. It's too bad because I think it's an issue kind of like coronavirus. It's one that while you need to be concerned with it, it should not make it so that you live your life in a different way. That's for sure. So especially should not keep you from retiring. Now, some people need to. Some people also need to be worried about coronavirus. Some people also need to be worried about getting struck by lightning. I get all that, but don't let it stop you from retiring and enjoying it, please. All right, so let's dive into this article. One of the things that's nice about having a YouTube audience, and I appreciate you all being here, is I do get info from people who say, "Hey, you should look at this article." I get thought leaders and stuff. They email me and stuff, and it's pretty cool, man. I enjoy this. So I got this off a guy from LinkedIn who I think, did he work at EBRI? I think he might have, but anyway. Be that as it may, he shared this article for me, and I said, "Oh, this is great." So let's read into this. This is, "Will healthcare expenses consume my wealth?" Says Joshua Deitch, Vice President and Group Manager, Retirement Thought Leadership at T. Rowe Price. All right, so let's read this. Good stuff. Recently, T. Rowe Price asked over 1,000 retirees about their primary concerns, financial concerns, prior and post-retirement. Not surprisingly, healthcare-related expenses were 3 of the top 5. So concerns before retirement, concerns now once you're retired. Health insurance premiums, 60% of people before retirement had a major or minor concern about health insurance premiums. 51% major or minor concern during retirement. 65% in retirement and 64% pre-retirement had a major or minor concern about long-term care services. That's because that freaking Fidelity study, man, it pisses me off. I hate that thing. Out-of-pocket health expenses, 61%, and that's about 60, 59, 57%, something like that. Major or minor concerns. I were concerned about, so more than the majority of the people had concerns about that before and after retirement. Living expenses, mortgage, property taxes, about 54% before retirement. 46% after retirement, and then regular day-to-day expenses, not a concern at all for most retirees. Regular day-to-day expenses, not a concern at all for most pre-retirees. Debt repayments, not a concern at all for most pre-retirees, and not a concern at all for most retirees. And then transportation. All right, now the issue, of course, is that these are T. Rowe Price retirees. I wonder if they asked 1,000 retirees about their primary concerns prior and post-retirement. So did they ask what there was? That's an odd study. But anyway, be that as it may, that seems weird. Did they say, "Hey, now Mrs. Jones, you're retired. What did you think before you retired?" A lot of similarities there. That's a tough study. And on top of that, it's very biased in terms of people who are already doing business at T. Rowe Price. Inherently, people are investors. Not only were healthcare expenses concerned, there's a strong evidence that can influence behaviors. The Society of Actuaries shares stories with this report, Shocks and the Unexpected, an important factor in retirement, of how retirees respond to a variety of financial shocks. Healthcare, unexpected expenses have become a signal. The retirees' findings point to both resiliency and adaptability, which stems from the ability to adjust one's spending. I cannot agree with that. I got to read that. The retirees' findings point to both resiliency and adaptability. Stems from the ability to adjust your spending. A finding also supported by recent research from EBRI. Resiliency and adaptability are good behaviors, but like anything, they should be well informed. So again, this is what friggin' ticks me off about the 4% rule. I've been down to my last penny, but I'm still going to follow the 4% rule. No one does that. No one does that. No one lives like that, man. If you have a famine year, you don't eat the filet. It's just common sense. In economics, we call it the substitution effect. Man, I love friggin' fillets, but because it's a bad year, I'm going to eat chicken. It's just, oh my goodness, this is a substitution effect. I'm going to substitute what I like for something that's pretty close, but is a lot cheaper. Basic economic, basic just human, just the way people live. Over the past year, by call, hey, Saduptu, Banjari. Oh man, huge fan of Saduptu. Banjari has written a series of papers exploring the cost of healthcare and retirement. Oh man. His first paper presented a new way of calculating health costs in retirement. In fact, I did a video on Saduptu. Sidiptu. There you go. Sidiptu Banerjee. Sidiptu Banerjee. That's freaking fantastic. I actually emailed that guy to see if he could interview me. And his article got taken down from EBRI. I don't know why. It kind of made me a little bit suspicious. And he did an article in 2015, which literally was fantastic. In fact, it's part of my book. Yeah, right here. I talk a lot about it right here in my book. You can retire on Social Security. Let's see. It's in chapter right here. Anyway, you can read my book, The Truth About Medical Costs of Retirement. Let's see if I have a quote from Sidiptu. Anyway, all right, hold on just a second. Pablo is pawing, so make sure you paw the like button. Hold on. You can retire on Social Security for sure. Sidiptu is fantastic. Love that guy. Healthcare costs is not a $350,000 upfront expense. Fidelity. And many financial planners as well. KMB on that stupid freaking study. Due on the first day of retirement, just like your cable company doesn't expect a check for $87,000 on that same day. Rather, the cost of healthcare over one retirement is a combination of insurance premiums and out-of-pocket expenses, most of which is predictable. Medicare Part B, Part D, Medigap are predictable. Premiums comprise almost 75% of the expense, and total cost is largely a function of longevity. The reward for longevity is greater expense, something one should consider when planning for retirement. Next, Sidiptu looked at chances of experiencing a large healthcare expense or shock. Again, the headline is worse than the actual story. At the time, I shared a gambling analogy that made the point that your odds of experiencing a shock increase the longer you live. As they say, be careful about what you wish for, i.e., if you're dead at 80, you're going to have less of a chance of being shocked than if you die at 90. Most recent paper analyzed late in life healthcare costs, specifically during the final 2 years of one's life. Much like health shocks, there's a common myth that healthcare costs at the end of one's life will be financially devastating to both the deceased and the heirs. Again, I'm going to cry foul. Why? Because these incurred expenses aren't distributed equally. Hallelujah! Hallelujah, my man Josh. I can't believe T. Rowe Price is letting this get out of the freaking compliance department. The figures below show expenditures in the last 24 years of life. We looked at expenses at the median, 75th, 90th, and 95th percentiles, instead of only the averages. Exactly, the averages don't mean crap. Again, let me just share with the averages. All right, you ready? Here's Josh, net worth of 100K. Here's Bill Gates before his mandatory vaccination, net worth of 100B. All right, so Bill Gates has a net worth of 100B, and that's before he mandatory vaccinates us all, and then that net worth will go up to 100 trillion probably. Here's Josh, a net worth of 100K. What's our average net worth? You want to take a guess? It's what, 500 billion. What's our median net worth? It's 100,000. 100, what does it be? 101,000, I think. Be as it may. So median and average, two completely different things. The average is so higher because it's skewed for the outliers. The data show that the unlikely few spend disproportionate amount of money, particularly among those who live long lives. And I'm not going to share the article with you here, but you can see it here, man. If you live to your 80, 95 and 99, your 95th percentile is $125,000. That's still not going to devastate you. Like some unpleasant truths, financial burdens often are unevenly dispensed. For example, women may face higher costs because they're likely to live longer and be single later in life. Women have higher healthcare costs later in life. Oh my gosh, it's discrimination. Oh. We have to make sure that women pay less because it's discriminatory. Oh. Of course, you could look at the other way. It's discriminatory against men for not living as long. How come no one talks about that kind of discrimination? This isn't pleasant to discuss. However, we must weigh these statistical likelihoods when planning for our retirements. So let's cut to the chase and ask what's really on our mind. Are healthcare costs expenses going to exhaust our assets and potentially leave our spouse destitute? The simple answer is that the fear is real. The fear of coronavirus is real and it's way overshot. You shouldn't be fearful of it. The chance of it happening is small, just like coronavirus. You could get it. You shouldn't be scared. You shouldn't freaking live yourself in a bubble because of it. Yet more likely beyond the age of 90. The chart below looks at the ratio of out-of-pocket expenses to net worth in the last 2 years of life. Our research, based on actual expenditures and experience, suggests that the possibility of this happening is quite low for those who are not already on Medicaid. Health expenses exceeding net worth, right there. The 95th percentile, health expenses exceeding net worth. You can see Not much. That's just, if you live to 90 and 95, 90 and 100, there's a chance that your health expenses could exceed net worth, but not much, that's for sure. And that's the 95th percentile, by the way. Not a significant likelihood for that to happen. Concerns about healthcare costs for retirement is not irrational. However, what our research says is that the concern, statistically speaking, is often overstated. As a result, retirees may proactively reduce spending and prepare for expenses that are unlikely to happen. Whether you are planning for yourself or helping clients, managing healthcare expenses is difficult given uncertain longevity. All right, good stuff, man. Let's see if we got any comments on here. Just one from my man, Kevin O'Connor. I know that guy. How do I know that guy? Is he the guy running for Senate in Massachusetts? I think the guy's name's Kevin O'Connor. I'm sure it's not the same thing. All right, good stuff. All right, so anyway, I want to point that out to you. I will put a link to the show notes. Big fan, first time, long time. And I mean, look, man, what can you do? You can stop smoking, stop jumping out of airplanes without a parachute, watch your food intake, stop eating carbs, stop drinking so much, go for a walk. I went for a swim. 15 laps today, back and forth 15 times. Feels great, man. You know, just it tightens up a little bit. You know what I'm saying? It's not like a true workout with weights, but it feels good, man. And, you know, I'm not saying you got a pool, but you certainly got a street. Go walk. Go do some sit-ups. Go do some push-ups. All that stuff's just good. Just get out there. Get out there and enjoy outside. Outside is calling for you. You need the vitamin B or the vitamin D. You need the vitamin B. Just get out there. All right. Love to hear your comments. We'll see you.